Even in Japan, there have been numerous phone calls from China with the +86 country code, harassing the businesses and the people. In these phone calls, Chinese little pinkies Xiaofenhong used vulgar language and irrational remarks in Mandarin to harass those who answered the phone.
こちらの店、海洋放出以降、中国からの迷惑電話が相次いでいました。
Hi everyone, this is Stan, your favorite Polish Taiwan YouTuber. Hope you're all having a great day. Welcome to today's show. A few days ago, the CCP launched a large-scale smear campaign against the handling of water discharge from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant in Japan. The group most significantly affected by this wave of attacks is those who are most susceptible to China's propaganda efforts. This group includes the CCP supporters in China, or the little pinkies Xiaofenhong, as well as some South Korean and Taiwanese citizens. These people got affected by the false information from the CCP regarding the treatment of water from the Fukushima nuclear power plant, leading them to believe that the discharge of nuclear wastewater would affect the radiation levels in sea salt. This misconception caused them to rush to stores to purchase salt, and panic buying is never a good thing. People are stockpiling salt, and in some areas in China it's almost impossible to buy any salt now. And of course, the situation almost led to an increase in salt prices and shortages of supply. Even in Japan, there have been numerous phone calls from China with the +86 country code, harassing the businesses and the people. In these phone calls, Chinese little pinkies Xiaofenhong used vulgar language and irrational remarks in Mandarin to harass those who answered the phone.
こちらの店、海洋放出以降、中国からの迷惑電話が相次いでいました。
This left the Japanese people feeling confused. However, many Taiwanese people who are aware of the Chinese Communist Party's cognitive warfare tactics, they expressed great understanding and sympathy for the Japanese people who got affected and who got targeted by this harassment campaign. However, in reality, the CCP smear campaign against Japan and fake news on the safety of discharged water has been a long-standing issue. Japan has adopted the strictest standards to address the contamination of nuclear wastewater caused by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. This includes inviting the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) to conduct a series of assessment reports. Furthermore, many international experts have been willing to support Japan's handling of the Fukushima nuclear wastewater. For instance, David Kovchak, an associate professor in the Department of Physics at the University of Auckland, stated in an interview with The Guardian that the tritium levels in Fukushima's nuclear wastewater are 7 times lower than the drinking water standards recommended by the World Health Organization (WHO). What is even more awkward is that the information from Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry shows that the Qingshan nuclear power plant in Zhejiang province, China, released approximately 143 terabecquerels of tritium in 2020, which is 6.5 times the planned discharge from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. Additionally, there have been reports of Chinese citizens personally conducting tests at the discharge site in China and finding results consistent with the information provided by Japan. However, this video has now disappeared entirely from the Chinese internet, and the individuals who recorded it seem to be unreachable. Even more perplexing, when questioned about this embarrassing fact during a press conference, a spokesperson from China's Ministry of Ecology and Environment tried to justify the situation, stating, "We oppose the discharge of contaminated water from Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant, but we have never opposed the normal operation of nuclear power plants and their wastewater discharge." However, they couldn't explain the differences between the wastewater treatment at the Fukushima nuclear power plant and the discharge of nuclear wastewater from ordinary power plants. So, in response to the international level malicious false attacks by the CCP, significant panic has spread across Northeast Asia, prompting various countries to take countermeasures. To address the concerns of South Korean citizens, Japan has not only opened its doors to invite experts from the South Korean government to conduct tests, but also has been actively reassuring them. According to news from Yonhap News Agency on August 29th, the South Korean government urgently conducted tests on the ocean radiation levels following the discharge of Fukushima nuclear contaminated water in Japan. The results indicated that the radiation level at all measurement points were within safe limits. Consequently, South Korea found itself indirectly contradicting the CCP's claims. Of course, Japan's government also welcomed China to send relevant inspection personnel to Japan for on-site radiation testing. However, it's quite evident that the CCP government has not shown any inclination to do so. Professor Clemens Walder, a radiological ecology and radiation protection expert at the University of Hanover in Germany, told ARD that tritium naturally exists in environment, food, animals, and even in the human body. The annual tritium content released from Fukushima's discharged nuclear wastewater is approximately equivalent to the cooling water from normally operating nuclear power plants. It is even significantly lower than the radioactivity in the wastewater discharged by some European nuclear facilities. So, even if one were to drink a cup of Fukushima's treated nuclear wastewater, the amount of tritium entering the human body would be roughly equivalent to the radiation exposure experienced during a 1-hour plane flight. Therefore, the protest by China and South Korea against the discharge of Fukushima's nuclear wastewater into the ocean may have more to do with political motivations. Even the Voice of America has stepped in to expose the Chinese Communist Party's deliberate distortion of Japanese news with false information attacks. Recently, according to the report by the NHK, in response to the CCP's smear campaign and dissemination of false information regarding the handling of water at Fukushima's Daiichi nuclear power plant in Japan, the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs has formulated measures to strengthen its response to false information by proposing a budget of at least 70 billion yen for the next fiscal year. Additionally, according to Japan's Nippon.com, the budget of over 70 billion yen will be used to combat disinformation from China and Russia. The budget includes monitoring and detecting false information, expanding the dissemination of accurate information through various systems, and utilizing artificial intelligence for data collection and analysis. Still, the news mentioned above has been deliberately distorted by a seemingly independent investigative journalist's Weibo account named Yuyan Tantian. It was twisted to claim that the Japanese government is using a 70 billion PR budget to handle negative information about nuclear wastewater. According to the investigations by the Voice of America, information from the official Chinese sources indicate that the account Yuyan Tantian is not operating independently, but was created by China's Central Television (CCTV) during the era of new media to strengthen propaganda efforts. In late 2022, Yuyan Tantian conducted an exclusive interview with Jin Qiangong, the counselor at the Chinese embassy in the United States, and the content was published on the official website of the Chinese embassy in the United States. In this article, Yuyan Tantian is referred to China Central Television (CCTV) new media. In China, the state-owned enterprise China National Salt Industry Group has already declared that over 80% of salt consumed within China comes from inland sources, such as well salt and lake salt, with true sea salt produced from coastal seawater accounting for only about 10% of the total salt consumption. Moreover, the proportion of genuine Japanese seafood available in China is very low. Many Japanese restaurants in China openly admit that their ingredients do not originate from Japan. However, Chinese citizens have flocked to stores and shops to purchase table salt. Chinese citizens may have forgotten that throughout China there are annual unpredictable floods and unannounced water discharges, which could easily wash away all the hoarded salt they have acquired. Additionally, this year's major floods occurred just last month. Meanwhile, various food safety issues persist in China. However, it appears that under the deliberate instigation of nationalism by the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP supporters are more concerned with the question if Japan's government is taking good enough care of the health of the Japanese people. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please press like, subscribe and share. This is Stan. I see you in the next one.